Hello everyone, Joshxjitsu here. Hope you guys are doing good. Now today I'm going to be giving you guys a few tips on how to become a good training partner. Keep in mind that these tips I'm providing for you guys also is not the end all be all. These are not like, oh, this is the complete list. You know, there's hundreds of other tips out there. So yeah, let's hop right into it. And here we go. Number one, hygiene. Hygiene is super important. Just so you guys know, the rash guards that you guys use underneath your gi, that is bleachable. You guys can bleach it. I go to Gracie Barra New Westminster and we have these little compression type rash guards and I threw it in the wash. I used bleach and it came out just fine, just so you guys know. And make sure you guys do that to your gis as well. The colored ones, I understand there are alternative bleaches that you guys can use, so there's no excuse on why your gis smell. Number two, please acknowledge everyone when you enter the gym. When you see your professor, say hello. When you see your coaches, say hello. When you see your teammates, say hello. Now it's just a small little gesture, but that actually goes a long way in the relationship that you have with your teammates moving forward. It doesn't hurt to say hello, I'm Josh, I'm new. Well, I mean, if your name is Josh, I just gave you a freebie right there. Tip number three, make sure you guys roll light. This is not a championship match. This is not a fight to the death. Now there's gonna be a time and place where you guys are in competition mode, but that is only appropriate when your teammate and when you are on the same page. When I say roll lightly, that means roll safely. People do have bills to pay. Last thing you want ever to happen while you guys are training is that somebody gets injured. That is the worst. When people are doing a drill, when people are trying a certain technique, and when people are sparring, it's not worth getting hurt over. It's a 5 to 10 minute spar and you get nothing out of getting hurt. You get nothing out of hurting someone. So please guys, safety first. Please be safe, roll light. Number four, for the senior belts, please be patient with your newer belts. All these senior belts know they have been in the exact same position as the new person was as well. It's an obligation of yours as a senior belt to help out the newer guys. When you guys do the technique of the day, ideally it's 2 for 2, meaning you do the technique 2 times and then your partner does it another 2 times. Now, if this is something that you are very comfortable with, like the technique and stuff, yes, you do want to get your training in, but you want to try to put yourself in their gi and kind of let them know, hey, you know what? I've done this move before. Would you like to practice it some more? It's basically 2 birds and 1 stone. You are teaching your teammate the proper technique while it helps you retain the information as well. So it's a win-win situation. In terms of rolling, try your best to give your teammates a learning experience, not the type where you beat them up and like, oh, you learned your lesson kind of thing, right? If you guys are in side control, right, and you guys are learning escapes, if you are able to manage yourself into a position where they can learn, let's say you pass their guard, you get side control, now this is where they can apply what they learned that day. What's funny is that when I roll with my newer teammates and I get them in that position that we learned, I usually tell them, uh-oh, we're in this position, what are you gonna do? And it gets them excited and then it makes them wanna apply what they learned, just to let them know, hey, it actually works within simulation. Now obviously in a real fight, this would be something that they'd wanna drill more often, but just give them the feeling of, wow, this works. And it really does, it really does. But also on the other hand, you don't wanna just lie there limp like a noodle because it could come off somewhat disrespectful. If you guys are just lying there and then, you know, letting them do the maneuvers and stuff, they might take it the wrong way, right? So find that little balance between, okay, I'm making him work and okay, I'm gonna take it too. The following tip is your ego. Please get that out the door. Your ego could actually lead you into a lot of dangerous situations. Your relationships with your teammate can break. An injury could happen.
Yes. 1, 2, no, okay.
Whenever you get caught in a vulnerable position and there's no way you could get out of it, that's fine. There's no shame in tapping. No one really cares. It's just a 5-minute roll. People might talk about it, but you know, months down the road, maybe next week, maybe tomorrow, people will forget about that roll. So it's not the end of the world if you guys tap. It's no big deal. Trust me, it really is. I tap out to white belts all the time. People get caught. This is the fight game, right? It's a combat sport and anything can happen. Another quick tip is to make sure you guys are locked in during class. Within that 1 hour time frame of you guys training, people are there to train. Now that is your mindset. Okay, we're here to train. Yes, it's a great time. That's great, but the last thing you want is to be counterintuitive and just joke around, right? There's gonna be times where you could giggle and stuff and that's fine, but make sure your first priority is to train first. It's respectful to your teammates and it's respectful to your professor as well, just to show you guys that, hey, these guys are working hard and having a good time at the same time. Next tip, communication is extremely important. prior to any roll. You always want to make sure if they are okay going at a specific pace. On top of that, you want to make sure if they have any injuries, you want to stay away from that. Because like I said earlier, last thing you ever want is to injure yourself and your opponent. Now I feel like this is a no-brainer, but a very common courtesy to thank your partners at the end of every roll. You know, it's a very extreme 5 to 7 minute roll, and the last thing you want is to just leave right after, you know, like despite of getting your ass whooped or whooping some ass, make sure you always thank your partner, man. Always give them feedback if they want feedback. Feedback is always good to let your partner know like what they could work on or what they did well on, because that's always good. That falls under communication. And for the final tip, this is more for the senior belts. Share what you've learned, man. Share what you've learned. This is a community where people learn consistently, and if there was ever a way to make things easier for your teammates to progress, try and show them the way. And all the more builds the relationship, the brotherhood, the sisterhood even more. So if you guys have any other tips, please let me know. I love the guys at Gracie Barra New Westminster, and I miss rolling with them. I hope this pandemic is over, but for now we'll just have to keep it moving. And if you guys are close to Gracie Barra New Westminster, please stop by. It's always a great time, like I said. With that being said, I'm Joshxjitsu. I'm signing out.